Are you sick of hearing the word tariff? I am. Hey everybody, Doug Reynolds here, your Sacramento area realtor. This is a monthly market video update I do talking about the Sacramento real estate market. Been doing this for, doing videos like this for over 15 years. Been selling real estate for 19 years now. Yeah, the grays are coming in for sure. And we are in April. And so we're going to talk about what's going on, kind of the start of the spring market here. And so let's go over the stats for March and talk about the market a little bit. All right, March 2025 stats. This is for Sacramento County. The median sales price was at $560,000, just a tick up from last month and a tick up from a year ago. Nothing massive to report on there other than it just kind of ticked up a little bit. So we're at 560 median price. In the county, highest sales price for March, $2.75 million. Lowest sales price, $232,700. Always fun to just kind of look at those numbers. But when you take all the sales that occurred in the month of March, the average price was 98.6% of the original listed price. So a house comes on the market, some sell above, some sell at, some sell below. When you take the average of that, they sold for 98.6% of the original listed price. All right, now for the month of March, we had 801 homes close escrow. And thankfully, that was up from February. February was not a whole lot going on the closing side, which is normal when we're coming out of winter. We start to have a bit more closings as we increase through the spring market. So a pretty substantial jump from February to March as we were up almost 16% more closings. But year over year, down a little bit from March last year, a little bit less closings than we had in March. So hopefully April should hopefully be heading in the right direction, as we'll get into some stats in a minute. Average days on the market for houses that sold was about a month, 31 days. That's what we're kind of our averages right now. And then of all the homes that sold, of those 801 homes that sold, half of them had multiple offers. 48% had multiple offers. And then getting into the inventory is increasing. That's normal to see this time of year, but we are slowly starting to get away from that just incredibly low amount of inventory we've had for the past about 2 years or so. So we've got 1,646 active listings. That's up 10% from February. And that's up almost 33% from a year ago. So definitely a good sign there is we're seeing substantially more homes available for sale. We just had been so low for a couple years now, ever since interest rates went way up. And we are starting to return to a bit more of a normal, almost to a normal amount of available homes, still below kind of the norm, but we're increasing towards that. And so that comes out to 2.1 months of supply. That's starting to get towards kind of a balanced market. I've always felt that the last couple of years, in my opinion, kind of a balanced market is sort of between 2 and 3 months. Anything below 2 months is kind of leaning in a seller's market. Anything above 3 months is definitely favoring more of a buyer's market. And then the pending sales. This is what's giving optimism for more closings. We've got 1,068 pending sales right now. That's up 11% from a month ago, and that's up more than we had at this time last year. So I believe the closings, those pendings are going to turn into closings for April, and so we should start to see our closings continue to increase as well too. So that's kind of statistically what's going on. As you saw, 2.1 months worth of inventory. That's more than we've had at any time in the last couple of years. And so we are starting to see definitely a bit of a balanced market. It's a mixed bag. The houses that are priced correctly, priced well, and they show well, and they have good marketing, those houses are selling within a week, usually with a couple of offers on them, and usually maybe a little bit above the list price. But then there's this other part of the market where it's overpriced, it doesn't look good, it's got horrible photos. Those houses are sitting on the market. And so that's where we're getting this juxtaposition of it feels like a seller's market, but no, it feels like a buyer's market. It's a mixed bag. So if you're getting ready to sell your house this spring or summer, you definitely need to work with your agent as far as pricing it correctly, making sure it shows well, making sure you're hiring an agent with good marketing so that you end up in that first category as a seller, as far as having successful, as far as getting top dollar for it, is smooth escrow that goes all the way through to closing. You don't want to be the one sitting on the market for forever, having to lower that price, eventually selling for a lot less than if you just started at the right price to begin with. If you're a buyer in the market right now, you definitely want to be prepared to be strong and write an aggressive offer and compete if that's the case. Or you also circle back. Just because it's been on the market doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It means they probably just overpriced it. They're probably just doofuses, you know? And so circle back to some of those, and you might actually get an opportunity to write an offer a little bit lower and negotiate it down and have a nice process as a buyer as well too, okay? So right now, as I said at the top, tariffs, things are going kind of wild. Interest rates are up and down, the stock market's up and down and everything. I think right now, what I'm sensing with my clients is I've got buyers that are just sort of like, you know what, my job's safe right now, I've got good income, it's the time for me to buy, and they're not really letting all the noise of that affect them, and they are moving forward. And I do have a lot of buyers that are doing that right now. And then you've got these other buyers like, I'm worried, they're watching way too much news, and so they're just pushing pause, and they're gonna wait. And so that's fine. We're always going to have buyers that are always going to be waiting. You never really hear that real estate story of, man, I'm so glad I waited. You always hear that story of, I bought that thing, and then 5 years later, 10 years later, 20 years later, bam, you know, it was the right time. So if you're looking to connect with me, check out my website, realestatewithdoug.com. Look forward to talking to you soon, and clear skies.